Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we are going to talk about some very interesting stuff today. We are going to talk about where we are with Bitcoin right now, if we finally get the pullback, if we just go on to the moon, and what we can expect from the next couple of weeks and months. We are going to talk some altcoin news with a little bit of bumper, a little bit of Metacade in the mix. We have a little bit of overall altcoin market in the mix. So it's going to be good. Make sure to stick to it until the end. But all of that after the intro. So good morning to every one of you. I have not been online the last days, and the reason is that I was a little bit under the weather here with some fever and stuff like that, but it's already a little bit better. So make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And the worst thing of all happened, and that is that I did reset my cash totally, and it seems that I have lost somehow my stuff on TradingView, my whole lines and so on. So that sucks. So I'm trying to find out which account that was for TradingView. I don't know why, but I've logged in with both of the accounts that I thought it was, and it's not there. So maybe we have to start over, at least for today, because if I refresh, then I'm completely thrown out. But anyways, G-Money is already here with the coffee and the charts. Sven is here, GM, and Big A is also here. Yeah, so probably we are going to have to stay in that completely naked and new account. Let's see if this is all aligned now. Maybe I will have to. Yeah, maybe I will have to start over. I don't know. Let me see quickly here, just so that I have oh no, it worked. Okay, thank God, at least that worked. Okay, that's good. That sounds good. Okay. MVE is also here. Okay. I think we're good. Let me just try to find the Bitcoin chart, which you cannot see right now. Don't panic. 11 people here, that's great. So yeah, I'm sorry for being out for so many days, but okay, little scare here, but we are good. Okay, fine. So let's jump right in with the news. So first of all, it seems to be now a done deal with the ETFs around around January. So that is actually only 20 days from now, not even 90 days, 19 days from now, where the ETFs should be approved, right? So here we see Blackrock and Nasdaq meet with the SEC to discuss the listing terms. Major firms like Blackrock and Nasdaq have met already. Representatives from major financial firms. I have to say this in the middle. Like, if you want to present an article like that or so, these articles are all written so that they can compete on Google, and it just sucks because you read the third time the same sentence here, and then in the text, right? So here we see it. Here we see a memorandum from Nasdaq 2023. And we see here subject meeting with BlackRock, iShares Bitcoin Trust on December 19th. We see everyone who participated, and here we see all the people that were there from BlackRock, and then all from the Nasdaq stock market. Okay, So yeah, the published memo in the report claims they discussed NASDAQ rules for listing ETFs, which are important to ensure that ETF operates safely and fairly. A few of the rules include surveillance and compliance measures to ensure market integrity and protection against fraudulent activities. So that is, yeah, it seems to be a done deal, because I mean, no one in their right mind would make these huge meetings. I mean, look, all of these guys that were in this meeting would probably cost a ton per hour. So you wouldn't do that if it wasn't kind of a done deal, right? And then, yeah, we also see here, looks like BlackRock has caved to the SEC's demands to exclude in-kind creations and redemptions from the spot Bitcoin ETF. They've just filed their amendment. Relevant text highlight below. Hey Green Lantern, what is going on? Hit that like button. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you all, and good to be back for some more morning live streams. Yeah, let's look quickly. Let's listen quickly together to what Mike Novogratz has to say about Bitcoin ETFs. I think that could be interesting as well. Let's listen together. It's only 1 minute, and then we'll talk about it.
A little victory lap. Listen, the Fed's pivot is really important. That press conference was as dovish as anybody expected, and the markets are behaving that way. You look at fixed income markets, equity markets; they all are now trading a Fed pivot. And is it March, January, or do they wait till the April meeting? We'll see. We'll see what their narrative is. We'll see what the inflation data is. But this is all based on inflation coming down, and it's not based on growth collapsing. And so they shifted to a more inflation-focused Fed, which gives them the room to cut rates. I think crypto likes it. We're going to get this ETF before January 10th. That's kind of the drop dead date that Gensler has before he gets in trouble with Grayscale and the lawsuit. And so I think you're going to see this, announced. It won't start trading then, right? That probably takes 6 to 8 weeks after that. But it's just more fuel for a fire.
Okay, so we have 3 different things here that Mike Novogratz touches on, and I think they're all interesting. The first one, obviously, being the Fed having reasons to cut rates, as they are inflation-oriented. Then that the drop dead date in his eyes is the 9th or 10th of January, where if he doesn't approve the Bitcoin spot ETF by then, he would get in trouble with the Grayscale lawsuit. And then the third one, what was the third one? The third point being, the third point being that 6 weeks after the approval, more or less, the spot Bitcoin ETFs should be starting to trade. So that would mean that if we have the approval in January, then we would have spot Bitcoin ETFs starting to trade in the beginning of March, which would be exactly the desired out. This is like the perfect mix, right? Together with the quad factors, of which 2 of them are mentioned here. This also means that the start of the trading of Bitcoin ETFs, and therefore the start of more like Wall Street and ETF investor capital moving into Bitcoin, would be exactly 1 month or 1.5 months, at the maximum 2 months before the halving. So currently, I think the halving is estimated to be around the 23rd of April. So in the end of April. So that would give, that would basically mean that Bitcoin is being bought up on the exchanges already by these investor allocations. So when you buy an ETF share, and this allocation of the share into Bitcoin, or if it's 100% Bitcoin, then 100% 50% equivalent needs to be bought as well, unless it's already there, right? Yeah. Crazy Dan says, it's good to see the farmers protesting again in Germany. Well, the farmers are not only protesting in Germany, they are also protesting in, I think, in France and some other countries. Yeah, why not? I mean, they have kind of a big visual and sometimes a very smelly protest. Yeah. So then we also have this here, which is interesting. China goes all in on Web3 blockchain despite crypto ban. Chinese authorities are spearheading a massive initiative in Web3 technology promoting blockchain, NFTs, dApps, and more. Weird, right? So let's see here. On Tuesday, December 19th, Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology published a document listing recommended initiatives for the country in the Web3 space. The document proposes several key initiatives for making China a leader in emerging technologies. I think they have seen what Singapore does. They have seen what happens in Dubai in terms of acknowledging cryptocurrency, right? The ministry intends to bolster the policy framework surrounding Web3 technologies. They aim to ensure harmonized growth of the Web3 industry while ensuring the necessary regulatory oversight. Significant emphasis is placed on advancing research in blockchain technology and other Web3 components. This involves nurturing homegrown technologies and keeping pace with global innovations in the field. Recognizing the international nature of Web3, the plan also focuses on actively engaging and creating global standards for the industry. Very important. If they have their standards, then companies can move into China if they want to provide Web3 solutions. And even the existing ones maybe can, based on that standards, be allowed in China, and that would be a desired market, right? So yeah, very interesting one in my opinion. Now, speaking of liquidity moving into the market, I think this is something to look at, and I will make it possible that we can look at it. So this is here from the Kobayashi letter saying, this is incredible. On Friday, the S&P 500 ETF saw its biggest single day inflow on record at $20.8 billion, dating back to the ETF's inception in 1993. This has never been seen. Total inflows last week alone hit 24 billion, also posting a new record. Yesterday, the SPY saw another 10 billion of inflows, putting the total nearly to 35 billion since the last Monday. That's 35 billion in 6 trading days, 5.8 billion each day. This is huge. I mean, look at that and look at the years. So basically, since before 2019, you can see that there are bigger days of inflows, right? And it would be interesting if they somehow coincide with the dates, but this is just massive. This is like a god candle of inflow. I mean, 35 billion is no joke, right? Even to a single ETF, so, or into SPY ETF. So yeah, we would like to see something like that also going into the Bitcoin ETF, right? That would be crazy if Bitcoin's market cap would increase by 20 or 30 billion in a couple of days. Not that it can't without an ETF, but I mean extra buy ETF. Okay, so let's do something more, more general, global, right? Where are we in the cycle? Should we buy? Should we sell? Will we have a pullback? What is going on, right? So this year, and you can check that out for yourself from time to time as a resource. This is from blockchaincenter.net. You can check out this website. They have, if you look here at tools and charts, they have some kind of cool tools. And these bands basically represent the prices at all times. And what we see is First of all, what we can acknowledge is that every time Bitcoin reaches in these upper bands, so to say, right, in these upper two bands, usually I think if a bull market was complete, and I think the last one, I'm still at the argument that the last one was incomplete, it should reach the dark red band, the maximum bubble territory, which we didn't reach in the last one, right? And yeah, so what's interesting is here so the reason why this top here at October 2021 is not higher as this top is that the bands are increasing in value while sloping up. That means the longer you are here down here in these bands, the more you are still increasing, even if you flatline across a band, right? If you only stay in this green band where we are right now, if we would only stay there, we would be in 2026 at 90,000 Bitcoin, right? Even if we were in the green band. So that also means that if you are seeking, there are a couple of things that we can derive from that. First of all, that by the halving, our minimum target, if we say it definitely goes into the second upper band, means by the time of the halving, this upper target is already 150,000. Okay, that also means that by the time of the halving, we should be between 40 and 52,000 if we stay in this band, and that means that at the deepest possible level is 22,000 at the halving. So this 12, even now the where we are right now, the lowest possible target for this chart is a $19,000 Bitcoin if we would touch the lowest, the lower level of the lower band. So this kind of gives us an orientation where we are. So this is divided in a couple of zones, right? Basically, fire sale, buy, accumulate, still cheap, and hodl are the zones basically that we are still okay. And then based on this chart, we have the is this a bubble question mark zone, which is the light orange one. FOMO intensifies. Sell, seriously sell is the zone where I will definitely start selling bigger amounts because at least of Bitcoin, right, the altcoins will be lagging behind. But yeah, so obviously going into the halving, we are usually in the band that we are right now, and or even lower, right? So we are pretty good in terms of the first ones. But let's look a little bit at strategy. So if we say that Bitcoin peaks somewhere around 2025, and we just go into the middle of 2025 and we say Bitcoin peaks in June or something like that, right? What was it here? Bitcoin peaked in somewhere in April, so in the beginning of 2021, and here it peaked in the end. Okay, so this was the Bitcoin peak, sorry. This was the Bitcoin peak in terms of nominal prices. So it's the end of 2021, it peaked in the end of 2027, and it peaked in the end of 2013. So roughly in the end of every 4 years, right? 13, 17, 21, so it should be peaking somewhere in the end of 2025, which would, if we say that's true, be, if it goes into the ultra red band, around 312,000 to 420,000, or if it goes in the orange band, 239,000 to 300,000. So according to this, the price target here should be somewhere around that, right? If we go with diminishing returns, we should assume that we are only touching, maybe that we are touching 200,000, or that we fail before 200,000, depending on when this top really comes in. The other thing that we can derive from this is that usually before we go into the halving, we have this pullback, right? Or somewhere around the halving, we have this pullback here, and we had a pullback here, which is secret, but nonetheless, we had a big pullback. So that could be still the pullback coming on that I've been talking about. But what about, so we are still in the accumulate zone, right? And that, if we are measuring, if we are saying Bitcoin tops out somewhere here, the lowest band in this top range already is 38,000 to 50,000. So that would mean that even if we drop into a bear market, after that, probably it's not going back to significantly below 50,000, no matter what, right? Probably not even to, probably it's only going back to something like 60,000 or so. But that is very far in the future, yeah. Let's talk about altcoins. They have another chart that I find interesting, and that is something that's like an analysis tool of if we are more in a Bitcoin year or if we are in an altcoin year. So what we can see here is that whenever we are in these zones, yeah, it basically, so here red zones, one is Bitcoin, one is altcoin, and it's based on dominance and performance of the 50 altcoins across this year, right? So we see here it's only altcoin year if all top 50 alts are outperforming Bitcoin. And right now that's not the case. Bitcoin has, in comparison to the top 50, a dominance of 60%. So it's a factor of only 22, and it says here it's Bitcoin year, and we can see that, right? In altcoin seasons, we are going into this above the 75 line, and we're not even above or in the normal zone here on the yearly. If we go to this on the monthly, we are at the middle. We are at the 47, right? So yeah, we see here that we are pivoting, but even there we are not even in an altcoin season. So all the pumps and all the nice performances and so on that we have is nothing compared to. So here, another altcoin season index. Yeah, it's nothing compared to what we are going to see in a true and real altcoin season, right? So the last one that we had was the post peak altcoin season, and here we have the one that is from the Bitcoin rally, right? So we're going to peak 3 times or more into this zone, and we haven't yet since our bottom. In November 22. So here's this is pre-crash, and then we crash, bear market, and then we have the altcoin bear market going longer, right? It's Bitcoin year. It was Bitcoin year, and now we are coming out, but we are not yet anywhere close to altcoin season. So I think these charts are very interesting to look at. Also, if you look at dominance, for example, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum. You have a couple of other things like BNB, 3.1%, dominance is fading. Solana, 2.7% dominance, right, of an entire market cap, and 2.6% of XRP dominance, right? And you have some kind of other things. Like, what is really crazy, and this shows you the potential of every coin with a big community, is that if you look at the mega of the biggest coins that are listed here with dominance, there's Doge, and there's also, depending on which time frame or which coins you're looking at, you will also find SHIB in that. So SHIB and Doge dominance, right? In like Doge literally is 1% of the entire market is in Doge, right? That is crazy, because 1% of more than $1 trillion is not a little bit of money. That's a lot of money. So this shows where coins can go, and probably there will be more money allocated into Doge, right? Not saying that Doge is good, but small market cap coins that have good fundamentals, that have a good narrative and build a big community, they can do really, really well, because they get, even if they get 0.001% of the entire market cap, they will do extremely well. Like, let's say you have a coin that has 30 million and they do everything right with the narrative and they bring news and so on, and this coin goes to 300 million, which is by the means of, even right now, let's go to live coin watch to look at this again, because I think it makes the point as the best, right? So a coin needs to be as good as a Solana or a BNB to be at 30 or even or even 40 billion in the end of a bear market, right? Beginning of a bull market, 30 billion, right? That would be the quality of the community of Solana and XRP. But even ADA has a huge community. So this is all about communities and narratives, that there's so much in it, right? And Avalanche is one of the rising coins in this sense, but their market cap is huge already. So you see here, Doge, for example, has a $12 billion market cap. So let's say you are in a coin that has 30 million. So 300 million would still put you 36x away. So if you would have a coin like that that goes to 300 million and then it goes to 3 billion, for example, even only a fourth of what Doge is, right? You would have 100x out of that coin. A Chainlink quality coin. Chainlink is, by the way, way undervalued. You can see, you can measure from, for example, coins like Polkadot, or even Doge, or even or Cardano, that a coin like Chainlink is undervalued, because Chainlink, in my opinion, has one of the best coins with the best tokenomics, widely accepted, and so on. Is only in terms of only at 8 billion. But let's say in a bull market, all of these go 10x, right? To 80, 90 billion or so. That is another 10x factor on some of the altcoins that you have to include, that the entire market cap will get pushed up and then profits will pump up the other coins. But if you see that the SHIB has 6 billion and the Doge has 12 billion, Doge was, I think, at $30 billion market cap or so in the bull run, or even more, like I think almost 50 billion, or I don't know how much it was in the end, but I think it was even more than that. You can see that some of the coins that you find in the lower top 50 have huge potential to get there. I mean, look at, for example, Vechain has a $2.5 billion market cap. Vechain is sitting at a sixth of Doge, right? And Vechain has huge real life use cases. Like Walmart is building solutions on them. They work with BCG, they work with DNV, they work with PwC, they work with car manufacturers, they work with everything, right? In the real world, they're providing use cases to many companies. So Vechain is already building the narrative, so it's probably going to climb up the ladder. But you can find coins that in altcoin season will completely go crazy. For example, the Graph, 1.3 billion, right? I have quite a bit of the Graph in terms of percentage of my portfolio. It's like 5%. And I think they will do super well. But now, let's say, let's talk about a coin like that also has good use case, like a Bumper. So the coins that we are talking about only need to reach this market cap, but in a bull market. So where a Graph would already be at 10 or 15 billion dollars, right? So like, for example, a Metacade, right? A Metacade, is that the correct one? I don't know. Mcade, right? Yeah, I think that's the correct one. I think the logo is out of date, but it should be the correct one. So it's sitting at those 1 cent. It has, where's the market cap? it doesn't even show the market cap, but on coin market cap it does show. Total caps shows like 24 million, right? So a 10x would put it at $240 million. In a bear market, in a bull market, no problem. In an altcoin season, even less of a problem. And then to a 2 billion, when everything in the top 50 is at 10 or 20 billion, is also not a big deal of a move, right? Just have to find the correct projects for that, in my opinion. I think it's a very easy calculation. So let's see if we find Bumper, for example. Bumper is a good one. Total market cap 14 million, says it here. I think it should be more. Stuff like that, right? Coins that have barely moved, coins that have in theory good use cases, right? But even an Ecomi, if they would finally bring something out, is according to this, is sitting at $500 million market cap, which is not true. So I think actually the market caps are a little bit rigged. But let's see here ouch, that hurts my eyes. There we go. So here, let's block this. Let's go here, Ecomi. Okay, that should be the right one. Yeah, so the true market cap is 171 million euros, which is 190 million dollars. So for Ecomi if Ecomi would with everything, like fully diluted with the 300 billion ohms, if it does a 10x, it's a 1.7, almost $2 billion market cap, right? So this is one reason probably why Ecomi is not really moving at all, because for one, it has little exchanges where it's available on. I mean, it has Bitmart, Bitforex, Ascendex, BingX, OKX, Gate.io, and you can get it on DEXs. But the other one is that people are looking for a coin that has a smaller market cap and that can do the 100x, right? And if Ecomi does a 100x, it would be at $17 billion market cap. And that's not impossible with exchanges and news. That's quite possible. A 17 billion would be quite possible. That would be in the bear market, sitting in the top 10. But in a true full-blown bull market, where a Cardano goes to 100 and something billion dollar market cap and so on, it's still sitting somewhere in the top 200, right? So it would be possible. That said, there are a lot of other altcoins that can do the same for you and that are not as risky as Ecomi at the moment. And I really have to say that sitting on a $4 million OMI, not dollar, sorry, that would be the dream. At a 4.2 million OMI bag, which is a couple of $1,000s, I still say that because I cannot, with a good conscience, recommend to anyone to buy something that has so much delays and no news and so on, right? So that is really something where I say, okay, why would we do that, right? Let's see. Dan O says a lot of people on Twitter are still talking like new exchanges and OMI to NFT and being able to buy OMI on web app are for sure coming. There is nothing for sure, right? Nothing is for sure. And the biggest problem here is that people are looking at the wallets. Actually, we could do that. We could look at let's see, Bubble Maps IO. Let's see if we find Ecomi there. Launch app. Okay. Search by name. Ecomi OMI. It shows as if maybe it's not correct because it shows on BSC. And then there's Ecomiverse. Yeah. that is not correct, I think. Yeah, okay, so that's not the correct data, I think. Let's see if Omi shows. Omi token, maybe that's it. Oh yeah, there we go. So people are looking at stuff like this, and some of these are exchange wallets, but they also will see wallet networks like that. And so here's this would be so this is something that is because of a network of immutable bridge, right? So this is this bubble maps IO shows you for every token how certain things are bigger wallets are connected to each other if they have had several transactions, right? So, and also it shows you sizable wallets. And we see here some of the wallets that are mentioned, and probably this one here, for example, this one is, I think this is the reserve wallet. And then there are the burn wallet and so on, and the vault wallet. They are all, we can all get rid of them. And then there is the immutable X bridge, which we can also, and then here, for example, this one is Gate.io. So it shows you that there are, so if this is Gate.io and this here is OKX, these are the exchanges, right? But there are wallets that are bigger than the exchanges itself, the exchange wallet itself. So, and this might not be complete or maybe not 100% correct, because, I mean, it's also just another service provided. But if we look at the ranks, there are a lot of people that sit on billions of Ecomi tokens, which could lead to other whales being reluctant to buy that. And we, as Dan O says, I temper expectations by an extreme amount. I agree so, and we are going to look at it a little bit more in a second here as well. What else did I want to look at today? So quick word on Bitcoin once more, and then we go back to the altcoins and Ecomi and Veve and so on. Bitcoin is, if we go on to 4 hourly, which we rarely do, but Bitcoin is trying to take out the highs here and go on another rally. And there is a theoretical kind of W-shaped pattern here, right? That has this, that somewhat has this breakout line, and this could lead us, even though we expect the pullback, to get into this range of 47,000 Bitcoin. And the fair valuation of Bitcoin, according to many models, is at 50,000. So there's, in a bull market, there's no reason for Bitcoin to just continue to pump. But I want to show this quickly to you. If we are looking at Bitcoin right now and where it is, so first of all, it hasn't taken out the previous high. That is one thing. The second thing is that we are severely overbought. The RSI was at 82, is a little bit cooled off, so there's room for another run. But overall, stochastic RSI is looking to the downside, which usually implies momentum to the downside, as we already saw here. When we hit this high of stochastic RSI, we got a bigger pullback, right? Here we even we had a turnaround bearish cross on the stochastic RSI, down, right? And then also here, for example, we see that stochastic RSI weekly bearish cross, down. So we have this bearish cross already, and we have a little bit of red already. So we can, this is no guarantee, this is just one indicator. If this works 100%, then everyone would use it, everyone would be rich, and the market doesn't work, right? So this is just an indicator that suggests that the likelihood of downside is high now, yeah, and so that we can be prepared for a pullback before the ETF approval maybe comes in, or with the ETF approval, who knows, right? But overall, this could mean that we could be having a pullback towards this level, which would be at 38, then this level at 34,000, and at the maximum at such a point somewhere here, this trend line shouldn't be broken at 32,000. So actually, at the more this takes to pull back, the more shallow I think it will be. Hey Jordan, what's going on? how are you doing? I mean, you can hear that I'm still a little bit under the weather, but we are getting there. Green Lantern says BTC pullback 48k below fair value because whales will be front running. Yeah, pullback at 48k sounds reasonable. 48k would be this upper band here of this box, right? So this is also, this is also my target is a little bit more conservative, but I think we are getting there, and this box could be the moment for the pullback, and then maybe pullback towards 38,000 or so from 48,000, which would be a nasty pullback. A lot of people will be screaming. A lot of people will be shitting their pants. Jordan says, I reckon we get some decent announcement this AMA coming Friday. Also, David, you on Mona's channel tomorrow. Probably accidentally dropping Alpha 2. I don't think so. Because everything that we are getting from David Yu is things that that are like little hints that are many people interpret a ton into, but actually doesn't really come much out of it, right? I think the AMA is to discuss all the questions around the current article for Ecomi, with the bronze tickets and so on. Maybe we get a little bit more on this for the bronze tickets, but I do not expect much more than what we have right now. I do not expect anything, to be honest, beyond discussing what we know so far. And what we know so far is that the only utility that Omi has is to stack things that you cannot use. So it's probably coming, but it's not coming as fast as we would like to. And probably they are stalling their stuff into the bull run, which I can understand, so that you have stuff to announce when the narrative is on altcoins and the focus is on altcoins and the narrative is on Web3 and NFTs and so on. And that happens in the later stages of the bull run. So that is when Ecomi will benefit from the narrative. But the opportunity cost is high, that's for sure. Dan O says, it's been so long since I've felt genuinely wowed by Veve. I just need to take a step back and stop expecting so much. Yeah, I think I'm still wowed by Veve. The problem is Ecomi, right? I mean, I'm still wowed by the brands that they have and the drops and the quality that they do. I mean, obviously a lot of things went wrong in the last days on some of the drops. They really fucked up the tech. But in terms of brands and what they bring to the app, it's still good, right? The thing is, you only have to have some bigger drops that get announced, that get people back, and then have drops being too scarce and people not hitting the drops. That in itself will bring back excitement, right? So if David doesn't decide to immediately cool off the market once again, then excitement will come back. But for Ecomi, yes, that is true. For Ecomi, there's nothing to expect because everything that we're, like literally the article says, everything that we can expect until basically the halving is soft staking and being rewarded with tickets for that soft staking in addition to the MCP points that we already got, right? So yeah, that's definitely happening. By the way, if you wonder why this looks so weird, on the logarithmic, the parabola makes sense. So yeah, also this is something. At some point you want to come back and, so we have talked about bases. Yeah, at some point you want to come back closer to the parabola, and that only works if you are moving sideways for an extensive amount of time, or if you are working yourself downwards, right? And the more you're going down, the faster you are hitting the parabola. And then you have the next parabolic leg up. So yeah, that is that. And also don't forget that we still have the open CME gap here. Yeah, here. Don't forget about that. So we didn't close that gap, in my opinion. And so I still expect more downside for Bitcoin. But this is very risky to say that, yeah, because in a bull market, these things can just continue, and this gap can stay open. Yeah, it can stay open. Who knows? It can also be a flash crash down, a wick down to 39,000 or so, and then you move on, right? Let's look at some news here. So what happened is that this was covered by Crypto Bro. In the legal dispute, Hable versus Godenzi, Patrick Hable, known as Dr. Profit, was defeated by Ben Godenzi. The case, Hable versus Godenzi, involved a dispute over OMI transactions and allegations of securities fraud. Patrick Hable purchased OMI tokens from Ben Godenzi, later suing for alleged securities fraud due to misrepresentations about ongoing litigation. The court granted Godenzi's motion to dismiss, finding that Hable failed to adequately allege a material misrepresentation or omission made with scientific knowledge of wrongdoing. Okay, so bottom line is that Dr. Profit tried to win a lawsuit against Ben Godenzi about OMI transactions. I think it was an OTC deal between them. Yeah, and we see here plaintiff bought cryptocurrency from defendant and now sues defendant for alleged securities fraud. See generally amended complaint. The cryptocurrency purchase in this case, Ecomi, is issued by Singapore-based company Ecomi. Ecomi is operated by Orbis Blockchain Technologies, a New Zealand company, and so on. So here's all the description. Yeah, and here we see the court grants part and denies in part. Grants in part and denies in part. Defendant's motion to judicial notice. The court further grants defendant motion to dismiss. Motion to dismiss. So it's the case got thrown out. It's not a judgment like in favor or against. It's motion to dismiss. Without prejudice because plaintiff failed to allege a material misrepresentation or omission made with the center. So yeah, and then someone speculates here on this last page of Ben Godenzi lawsuit. Do you think this would be related to the expiry, David, you mentioned, date December? I don't think so, because this is not Ecomi versus Ben Godenzi. This is Dr. Profit against Ben Godenzi, and I think this should have no effect on the overall token lawsuit, right? So I think the only thing that could be is that all of these lawsuits more or less end around the year's end date, and that the one Ecomi versus Godenzi and so on, that there are things that are expiring then, but on the other side, yeah, it's better for us and our minds if we don't read too much into stuff like that. I think this is closed and sealed. I don't know if this will have probably you can appeal against the dismissal and amend stuff to that, but yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, right? Oh yeah, what I forgot, by the way, is that we wanted to look at some altcoin news as well from Bumper. Bumper protocol is now live on Arbitrum. Trade yield bearing Lido Finance, downside protected Rep BTC, upside gains with downside hedge, defined news trading strategy article, and so on. So a lot of stuff for Bumper here to announce on Twitter. If you have an altcoin that you are interested in holding into altcoin season, make sure that you follow this altcoin on Twitter and then check out what they bring as news and also as potential huge upcoming milestone around this altcoin season, so that you know when you have to sell the news, right? That is very important. And also here, Metacade just has a new one. I've talked about both of these altcoins. Exciting partnership alert. We are thrilled to announce our partnership with Crypto Fighters. This is a game that has 42,000 followers on Twitter. So smaller game, but still a lot of people. Ultimate Web3 gaming experience. Dive into this cutting edge NFT based game. So it's an NFT game on Polygon, and they have previously interacted with Polygon and prepare to fight, build, and earn. So here's, for example, this is the thing. If we get a bigger pullback, I am going to allocate more money to Metacade and also to Bumper. And so Metacade, Bumper, the graph are things that are like super different market caps, but I want to have more of those in my portfolio. Also because Metacade has not yet pumped, and Metacade has a fixed or a very good like all of the coins are in circulation as far as I know, or most of them, and they have a burn mechanism. Deflationary token nature, which is good in my opinion for ready for a bull run, right? Princess, how much more downside time you think till collectibles go more upwards? Floors are pretty sad, like Stanley you are for edition size. My V Vault has been rising with 20% lately. I expect to rise even more due to January, February usually is good months for Veve. Okay, let's look at this as well. Let's go to Stacker World. We're currently experiencing temporary delay in accessing the latest data. Okay, no problem, but I have to go in full cam mode quickly because I need to sign up here, log in here, and yeah. And there is the problem that I have to, because I did this thing with deleting the browser cache, I have to see if I manage to log into Twitter. Okay. Let me see. It wants me to log into Twitter so I can go to Stacker World. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Okay, that worked. So let's go to Stacker World. Okay. Log in, continue with X. Okay, there we go. Now I can share again. There you go. So yeah, so if you know, full transparency always on my dashboard. So yes, my collectible value has also gone up a little bit, also because I did some super low purchases. So you see here, I bought several comics for $1, and then also this Marvel Legacy Ultra Rare for, I think that I bought it significantly lower than the floor is right now, and then some of these stamps that I didn't have for also $1 and something, and then I got the Jedi thing, and on the bug I minted 2 posters apparently. Yeah, Jordan, I have some Metacade. If it pulls back, I buy a little bit more, and so on. So I will gradually phase into that one before it takes completely off. So yeah, I think that's good. But here, so my vault is up like $300 or so. So yeah, that's correct. Ivers has asked about this. So my thought is, expect these prices to be flat or moving around in this for another year, like until altcoin season. Because what you have to understand is that prices are moving like this. Like Bitcoin goes up like crazy, and then Bitcoin tops out in the end of the year, like somewhere in 2025. Bitcoin tops out, goes sideways, everyone takes profit, and there's more profit taking than money coming in at these prices into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin starts moving into a bear market, but no one believes it's in a bear market. And while that happens, there's another huge altcoin rally from these Bitcoin profits, and all the altcoins, like every shitcoin bag holder becomes a millionaire, and then they are all going to flex, like the people with I don't know how many thousands and thousands and millions of Cardanos and thousands of Ethereum, and I don't know what other coins are going to be. Like the people that bought Solana at $7 and are sitting on that like into altcoin season, they will take a part of their money and they're like, why not? Why not take $100,000 and allocate it into Veve, right? So people that made 50 million or so, or 100 million in the market, like everyone becomes a Bezos-man, right? So they are going to look at, oh, we know that the next thing in the cycle is NFTs. So let's look at NFTs. So they are going to buy a Bored Ape, and they're going to buy stuff. And then they're also going to buy, oh, let's buy this digital collectible. Let's buy 10 partner statues and 20 secret rare comics, or hey, I'm a degenerate, let's look at a James Bond car. So they are going to buy up stuff here on the market, and then because a lot of people are frustrated sitting on the sidelines and not looking anymore at their sad Veve bags, they are going to not be able to list as quickly as the prices moves their collectibles into the market, and suddenly portfolios are going up and excitement is coming back and so on. But that all, in my opinion, is going to happen in 2025 only. So there will be another year of where Veve is going, unless Veve brings out mechanics and Omi to NFT and so on, then it could happen faster. But I think that overall during 2024 it will be like a pre-bull in the maximum, and then a real like collectible rally I only expect like in a year from now. No, a little bit more than a year from now. So where your portfolio is going to, I don't know, like 20, 30, 50, 100x, right? Depending on which collectibles you have. I mean, yeah. You see here I have a lot of shit collectibles or ton of garbage collectibles like these, like holiday elves. But on the other hand, I got this. So technically, I bought this holiday elf for $1 and a little bit. So technically, I 2x'd my. I literally did more than with an altcoin, right? So technically, or for example, where is this here, for example, right? I bought it for $1 and it's like at 124. So technically, I did 20% on this one, right? In a day or two. And if this goes to like, let's say in a bull, this goes to $10, right? This common, yeah, just assuming. That's a solid, I don't know, that's a solid 10x, right? Why not? And on the other hand, it gives me MCPs and I have this comic, and if it doesn't, that's also fine. And even if I sell it at a 5x or so, that's fine, right? But the potential is here to go way higher, because suddenly you will have thousands of users that want to buy something that they can afford to make a transaction. Dan O says, good to see you diversify, Jordan. It looks like almost all Omi enthusiasts have now either moved away or diversified a lot. All except Randy, unless you count the dumb meme coins. Yeah. Jordan said before, G-Money said before, I just got some Metacade after watching Ron's interview. Yeah, the interview was nice of Ron's cryptotherapy. Jordan says, I have few gaming tokens now, Miria, Mcade, Senate, Copy. Copy is is cornucopias, right? On Cardano, right? And big old bag of Vamp, lowest market cap out of all of them. No, we don't. We don't. We don't. Princess is top. He's top holder on Stanley. You are on X Tracker. Oh, I have one. I have only one of the Stanley X. Like on the Stanley. You are. Epico roadmap plan for Q1 specifies the launch of the market with multi-chain functionality and a strategic partnership with Ecomi Veve. That would be cool. I mean, we were looking at Epico including Ecomi for like since 2 years or so. Please review Solana and Gari. I will. Maybe so. Be prepared for maybe doing an early altcoin stream today in the evening, because I will be traveling tomorrow, so there could be another crypto morning coffee tomorrow, but I will be traveling then for Christmas, and I will be out for the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 26th, and then I will be back on 27th at the latest, maybe 26th in the evening, depending on how we're doing, right? But I will try to make the altcoin Degen portfolio stream later today in the evening, and so that we have that, and then maybe another crypto morning coffee before I travel tomorrow in the morning. So just so you know, by the way, we have 30 people constantly here. Make sure to smash up the like button for the big alphas. We're going to make it, guys. We're going to make it in this bull run. We're going to make it huge, only with patience and allocating money and not over leveraging. We are going to make it huge, guys, 100%. So smash up the like button for that, and definitely that's going to. Mark D says Epico pumped wildly. Yeah, they have a token that is around for like a while, right? Jordan Reese says Omi has been overtaken by my Soul, ADA, and BTC back, but it's still number 4 and in the 6 figures dollar amount. Wow, that's crazy. Jordan has a big bag. Yeah, 100. Yeah, so absolutely, this is going to be amazing, and also I'm pretty sure that this will do pretty well as well. The Veve portfolio. In terms of my bags, Veve portfolio is pretty big, right? Jordan can only laugh at the $6,500 allocated in Veve, but for me that's quite a big amount of money. For some people that's a lot of money. For others it's not. We want to get to the level where this is not anymore a huge amount of money. We're going to make it. And there are a lot of people here in this chat that are financially way more successful than I am. I'm absolutely aware. So this is great, right? This is absolutely great. We can learn from each other, and we can support each other, and we are giving good ideas to each other in this community. So I really appreciate that, guys. With that said, I have to jump now. So guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I thank you all for joining here today. Make sure to smash up the like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Tick the little bell to get notified when the next live stream is coming up, maybe later today. Make sure to check out Around the Ecomiverse from Jordan. And the talks with all the people from the community around Ecomi, Veve, and so on. That is important. And yeah, we see each other very soon here on this channel. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.